when I pull up, there is at least 45
Jesus.
homeless people around the building. I mean, it's like a party. We've got a group of Mexicans, like over in one corner, and they are like tatted up, cholo tatted up, neck tattoos all the way up. They have like wireless headphones in, and I'm like, okay, but they're like dirty as fuck, and they're hanging out with homeless people. So like, you don't do that if you're not homeless, you know. And then there's a group of these like white meth heads. One has a crack pipe.
Yikes.
Has a crack pipe out. Multiple times do I see crack pipes out
Underweight there. With the...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Underweight. Yeah. He looks 65, could be 38. You know what I mean?
Most likely.
Right. So anyway, I'm walking in the racetrack, and there's someone walking out. And this person is about 6'2", 6'3". They're black. They're wearing a bright purple sundress, like bright purple flowers.
Oh, nice.
But they're also a man.
Okay.
And is wearing a wig, a very dirty wig that has like literal dirt in it. Yikes. And is like not put together well. I'm gonna say she has no makeup on. Is kind of jacked, but is walking really like feminine, right? Mm-hmm. They like I like kind of push the door open like as I'm walking, and they just like blow past me, and I'm like, okay, sure, all right. Did not smell good. Like smelled like she'd been on the street. Like this person was very like dirty and not well put together. So then I get my Celsius, and I turn around, and they have walked back in, and they're like begging, but very angrily, this person to buy them something. Like, just get it for me, blah, blah. And the person's like, no. And she just turns around and starts saying it to another person.
What were they trying to buy? I
don't know. Like, I couldn't hear, right? Mm-hmm. I just heard, like, can you buy me something? I'm, like, walking, and when she turns around to look at the next person to ask, I notice that the back of her dress is tied around the top of her G-string, and her just bare ass, the entire bare ass. When I say G-string, it's because I saw it at such a perfect angle, I saw everything. I didn't look for very long, right?
Yikes, yeah.
And it's just bare ass out. And it's like, just not, it's very, like, not prominent. Welcoming. It's not nice, you know? Like, it's just, like, not nice to look at, nitty, since, like, it's just, it smelled, and they, like, throw a fit about this person in line, and, like, this black dude that she's talking to is like, man, bitch, get away. And she's like, fine, fuck you then. And, like, the person at the front, like, looks and, like, kind of looks up, and, like, we're in line at this point, and, like, it's a commotion. Like,
well, okay, how far are you from this
as far
ordeal?
as we're sitting away.
Okay, so, like, maybe 4 feet.
Yeah, 4.5, 5 feet. Like, at this point now, because it had moved from that, she started bothering someone who was in front of me in line. And I was putting off a vibe, like, just, like, don't talk to me, right? But I had my sunglasses on, so I, like, I could assess the situation.
You could look the other way, but like, assess.
Yeah, and she walks out, and this, like, kid behind me was like, that is so fucking nasty. He said that. I turned around, I was like, it was very fucking gross. And this, like, 60-year-old man walks up behind him. I think they're together, like, working, and it's like this old country white dude, and he goes, she's airing out her shitter so the flies don't gather.
Oh my god.
And I lost my mind laughing. She's airing out her shitter so the flies don't gather.
Did he say she?
Yeah, he said she.
Oh, nice.
So, like, I don't think that guy, like,
registered,
knew what was going on, but that was one of the funniest, like, things I've ever heard in my life.
I can't imagine that. Yikes.
She's airing out her shitter so the flies don't gather.
That's gross.
It's comedic gold to me.
Yeah, and it was genuine, like, straight just reaction.
Yeah.
He wasn't...
And, like, he didn't laugh after he said it. like, he was like, he really felt that way.
Oh my god, that's
and like he was so old and, like, from a different time where, like, it's not a joke to him like that. Like, he's just saying, like, that's how he would say something's really gross. And, dude, the whole day, like, I haven't stopped thinking about
Unfortunately, I'm thinking and visualizing this now.
Dude,
and
it
I was just thinking while you were telling that story, it's like, ooh, I kind of want to go to this racetrack and
Dude, it's
see
so
this ordeal.
fucking fun, man.
See this. It's like, it sounds like a show. And then, yeah, after that, I'm not, yeah, maybe I'll just stick to my QT and,
dude, the
Dallas.
cholo ass like Mexican dudes I've talked about, they've started showing up there all the time now. Bro, they fucking like, they look at the other homeless people like, and like the other homeless people are like walking around them. It's like, I feel like shit's gonna pop off.
Oh,
like I saw
bet.
the same dudes that were there like that. I think it was Friday that this happened. It may have been Thursday though. Like yesterday I went to go get waters and because our water thing like broke. But yeah, it was fucking like shit's getting crazy. Like a lot more people are there now.
Dude, that's weird. I remember I was at the gas station the other day, and this guy was like, I could see him from a distance asking people,
Right.
you know, kind of throwing his hands up and then kind of throwing them
when
up
you're
aggressively.
pulling in, you can like tell something is happening because
Yeah,
there's like
you
some
feel
kind
it.
of unnatural movement.
Yeah,
and like
it goes like
commotion.
this around. It looks like around and then into the door and then
Yeah.
out the door and then around into the car. Yeah. And so I walk over there, and this guy's like, "Yo, please, no, come on, man! Like, dude, they got my kids. Like, you don't understand." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Immediately had a soft spot. I was like, "Dude, they got his kids."
Like, but who's they? Is it
yeah,
aliens?
I was like, "Yeah, exactly." I was like, "Who's they? Is it a rival homeless guy?
right?
Is it
Does he think aliens have his kids? Does CPS have his kids?
Yeah, does CPS have his kids? I mean, does his wife have his kids because something
Right.
went down? I have
Does
no
he
idea.
have kids?
Exactly. That's another thing that came to mind. I was like, wait,
Does
what
he-
kids? Like,
yeah.
And so I think I was just getting gas, and I've been using, if I use my debit card, I go inside because I got money taken from me once, and so I'm real paranoid about it. So I either use my credit card at the pump or
Yeah, I use my
debit
credit card at the pump. Yeah,
or debit card inside. So I was
Yeah.
using my debit card inside. I might have been like getting beer or something, and this guy's like, you know, going like, there's a long line, right? And he's just going down the line from the beginning to the end, and I'm the last person in line. The line is up to the door, and I was just like, I have nowhere to go. I had my sunglasses on too, so I was staring at him the whole time, even though I was facing like a 45-degree angle. And he's like, "Yo, they got my kids." Like, the guy, he told my wife to wait here with him, and then he took the kids,
Okay.
and my wife got in the car with him, and they took off. And I was like, wait, what? Okay, now I'm interested. Now I'm not worried about the kids. I'm worried, like, why is your wife with them too? Like, did
he promise them like a vacation? He's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'll take you on a vacation right now if you just abandon your man.
Yeah,
And she's just
exactly.
like, fuck
and
it.
so I was like, dude, I think you got ditched. Like, that's where I'm
Was
thinking
that your
right now.
wife
Yeah, I
and
was like,
her?
yeah.
Was that a girl and her kids?
Yeah, no, right. Was it
That,
a
like,
girl and her
you,
kids
dude?
that you were into, and she got in the car with her husband, and they just went
It
off
sounds
to their
kind of
day,
like a Seth Rogen movie that then turns into like a buddy film where
Oh,
you
yeah.
and this homeless guy
going on an adventure together.
Right, but
and,
the
like,
homeless guy's like a really famous actor that they just like gave like shitty face tattoos to
Uh-huh.
that like no one gets.
Yeah.
You know, like an anarchy symbol on his temple or some shit.
and you almost die.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you're driving and then like since you're like in shape and a fighter, they would just have like, I don't know, like The Rock be the other guy. And you're like, okay, but he's never just like, civilians don't just look like that.
I
and
know,
move.
right?
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously he's going to have these like combat skills.
And then we get into an altercation. He'd be like, "Yo, I brought my boy with me, and it's you." And you're like, "Well, I don't want to deal with this. I'm not
Right.
here for this." Yeah. So anyway, I could see it going down that path. So when
like
he came
it.
up to me, he was like, "Yo, the guy, he's got my kids. He told my wife and the kids to get in the car. I was there, and now they're down the street. It's only like 10 minutes, bro. And look, man, they got my kids." And I was like, look, can I stop you right there?" And he's like, "No, I got to tell you this." And I was like, it's like,
You're like, "All right."
I was like, no. Let me just, can I ask you a question? What's up? And I was like, I mean, I had so many questions. Who has your kids? Is it really your wife? This and that. But I was like, what are you asking me? What do you need from me? And he was like,
What's the product?
yeah.
Like,
I was like,
what do you
what
sell?
am I selling? What service do
what's
you
the
need?
pitch?
Exactly.
Right.
He was like, "I need a ride, bro." And I was like, I'm 100. I said it out loud. I was like, I'm 100% not giving you a ride
That's
anywhere.
the last thing.
That's absolutely, like, if you
I would
need,
give you $100 before
you
and
got
I'm
into
not
my
giving
car.
you $100. Like that's
Exactly.
just not happening. A ride
Yeah.
is just so not happening. I'm not even thinking about
I would
it.
help you go take care of that guy.
I would help you steal a
and
car.
beat him up
Yeah.
before I let you into my car.
Absolutely.
No, you're
I
not.
would
Yeah.
rather help you burn a car in the parking lot with a Molotov cocktail than let you get in my car.
And then take a selfie and post it on Facebook for everybody to
under
see.
my name and tag the police department.
Exactly, before I let you in my car. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, just to let you know how sketchy this guy was. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he looked pretty sketchy. And so he's like, "Yo, I need a ride, this and that." And I was like, "Yeah, 100%, that's not going to happen." And by that time, the store clerk had called security, and this huge black dude came out, and he was like, "Yo, we gotta go." He's like, "You gotta get out of here." And he's like, "Yo, no." I guess he thought I was like his last hope. He's like, "Yo, come on, man. Like, you gotta help me and my kids." And I was just like,
okay.
And I don't know why, but like everybody in the store was starting to feel uncomfortable, and he wasn't leaving. I didn't want to see something break out. I definitely didn't want to have to get involved in anything. And so I was just like,
absolutely not. You want the minimal amount of involvement, but you want the full story.
So I was just like, I wanted to know what happened to his kids. So I was like, can I get you an Uber? He goes, "What's an Uber?"
Oh, shit.
And I was like, I can call someone to pick you up, and I'll pay for it. And he was like, okay, we can do that. Yeah, can you call him? And I was like, well, I got to download the app because I delete the app. I don't use Uber too often. So he's like, okay, you do the app. And I was like, this guy has no idea what the fuck Uber is or
this
an
Uber
iPhone.
driver's gonna fucking hate you.
Yeah, I know. So
this Uber driver's gonna be the subject of the movie.
Yeah, so I know. Yeah, I am no longer part of the movie, and I've inserted. I think his name was like
Hannibal Buress.
I think it was like someone from like Middle Eastern or Indian descent. So his name was Gupta. I remember that because it came up on my phone, and I was like, wow, what an interesting name. Poor guy. So I called Gupta. You know, the security guard was like, "You gonna get him an Uber?" And I was like, I guess like he's kind of in here, like what? I mean, he's just gonna keep asking, and so called him an Uber, and then I went to my car and I was pumping up gas, and Gupta was like 2 minutes away, and that guy was just like looking at me, and then he like, I'm kind of eerie about people being outside on my peripheral, so he's behind, he's kind of like behind me, and
there's like a lot of red flags that are happening. Yeah, you dropped your water.
My bad.
There's literally an earthquake happening in the studio.
Yeah, no, whoops, throwing bows. So anyway, I'm pumping my gas, and I keep looking over my shoulder at him. I was like, dude, he's almost here. He's like, oh, okay, what car is he? And I was like, I guess I can look at that. Yeah. It's a black Chrysler or whatever. And
you're like, you don't know what Uber is, but you know that I'm gonna know. Well, I guess if it's like your friend.
Yeah. So So he was like, what car is it? I was like, I think it's a black a Chevy, not a Chrysler. And he's like, okay, where is he? And I was like, well, he'll be here in 2 minutes. Which way is he coming from? And I was like, okay, first of all, you didn't even say thank you for.
Yeah, first off, there's like no acknowledgement.
Now you're being really demanding, and I got
I'll cancel it.
Yeah, I was like, do you want me to wait with you? Like, what? And he was like, can you? And I was like, why did I say that? And I was like, you know what? I think that's him right there. And I got in my car and I left.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was just like,
so you didn't stay for...
I saw him like start to get, into the car, and I was like, I really hope that's the Uber driver. And then it, bing, on my phone. It said, hey, your Uber driver's here. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, his Uber driver's here. And so he got in the car, and then I was like driving home, and I was like, what if I just killed this guy?
The Uber driver?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Set him up for failure.
What kind of situation are they going into?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it since.
Dude, what if this guy gets...
But
you should call for another Uber until you get him.
But then it was like, it pinged on my phone again, like about 5 minutes later. Yeah. And it said that, or I guess the ride was only like 5 minutes, and then about like 8 or 10 minutes later, it pinged, hey, how was your service and everything? Blah,
so
blah.
Like the ride was
And
completed.
so I 5-starred him, and I tipped him and everything. So I was like, okay, I got to take care of this guy.
Up.
I hooked him up, yeah. I gave him a nice tip because, I hooked who up? I guess both guys.
I mean, yeah, you gave this guy... You know what, though? Like, what did that driver learn about the situation on the way there? Where was did you see where the drop-off point was? Or
we were in Dallas, and he was going to Dallas. I mean, he was just going deeper into Dallas, so that was pretty...
That's so fucking sketchy, dude.
Yeah, it was really sketchy, but...
That's so sketchy.
Yeah.
Rocco, that's so fucking gnarly, dude.
Yeah, it was weird.
Was he like a big dude? Was he like intimidating, like in any kind of way, like physically?
I mean... Not
was his
to me, his
right.
behavior was sporadic.
Yeah,
and kind of like, yo, the guy's got my kids, and they got in the car, and now I don't know. He looked like he was like maybe
late 30s.
30? No, probably 30 on the dot,
shit.
like at the most.
Yeah,
like he just hit 30. He was wearing like a wife beater, but like you could tell wife beaters are pretty tight,
right.
But you could tell he'd been wearing it for like 100 days,
right?
Because it was like raggedy and like I mean, he had some muscle definition and everything, and he was wearing like red sweatpants. I remember typing that into the Uber. I was like, I'm wearing red sweatpants.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
the person that I saw in the fucking dress with her ass hanging out was like kind of like jacked in shape, but had like tons of tattoos, like on like her chest, and like that were like, I remember like seeing them real quick and being like, all this isn't adding up. Like, like there was something up.
You
like,
can't. You've spent money before.
What if that was his wife with the kids?
Oh my God! And you were. No, he didn't get in the car with you.
No, that would have been crazy if this happened on the same day. When did this happen?
This is like 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of frightening. I wasn't a big fan of it. And then that's when I was like, maybe I should just not acknowledge these people. Because there were plenty of people that said no. And so,
right.
you know, I mean, now every time I go in that gas station, the clerk or the security guard would be like, hey, what's up, man? And I'm like,
shit,
hey, man.
Now
yeah.
they know. Yeah, the people at this racetrack, like, they know me. And just because they like, I'm not one of the fucking crazy people, because they deal with insane shit.
Yeah, one of the normal people.
They'll be like, hey, like it's just so like back and forth, like quick and easy now. And like sometimes I'll talk to them, and then like when I saw those two kids like robbing the store, like running out with shit, and the guy was like, I don't fucking care. Like we just like talk about it. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember being at work once, and it was on a Saturday, so I'm the only one on the construction site besides like the subcontractors that are working. And I'm walking around making sure everybody's, you know, being safe. Nobody's drinking because they'll, you know,
right.
That's a no-go on the job site and stuff. And everybody's got their hard hat and this and that.
Right.
And this homeless guy is walking down the street, and he's like a white dude, long hair. He's got a grocery cart, you know, so he's, you know, fully invested.
Right.
And
in the lifestyle.
In the lifestyle, yeah.
He's also prepped for a little bit of organization.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were going to say hardship, but I was like, yeah.
Both
whatever.
of those.
Yeah,
you have to be organized for the hardship sometimes.
True.
You're like, man, I'm going to have to sleep outside. Let me get a Tempur-Pedic pillow.
You're right.
Yeah.
So this, you know, one of the Hispanic workers was like, no, get it. You know, he's like shooing him away, and then he sees me, and he's like, no. And he's like, you know, definitely telling him to get away. And then this homeless guy, like, you know, was walking down the street, and I'm like walking forward, and my glasses that I wear on site, they're like reflective. Like you can see your reflection if you look me in the eye. You can't see my eyes. And so I'm like, you know, looking hard at him, and he's like, hey, you want to buy a case of beer for $10? And I was like, what? I was like, there's no way he's talking to me, obviously, because I mean, I look like the superintendent on the job, and these other guys are just they're dressed like workers.
You want to buy a case of beer for $10? Like,
and I was like,
is it mix and match? Like, are they fucking IPA?
What
like,
the hell?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. And so he's like, I don't know how you got this job if you're deaf, because I didn't respond to him. And I was like, and I turned around.
Fucking shit.
And I was like, what did you just say to me? He's like, how could you get this job if you're deaf? And I was like, well, I mean, what?
You should have just kept saying, like, what?
Oh my God.
And they'd been like,
what
I'm deaf.
did you say? No, I was like, how do you expect me to keep my job if I buy a beer or a case of beer for you for $10? And he's like, well, I don't know. I was just like, some of these people don't really, I mean, obviously we talked about it before. Some of them are kind of going through some psychological troubleshooting issues, you know, to say the least. And some of them have a little bit of drugs in their system.
Definitely.
So, yeah, it was a kind of a crazy experience.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy experiences, actually, this isn't a crazy experience that either one of us would go through, but it came up in my mind before we started recording. Did you hear about the Brazilian gang leader who tried to escape prison and got caught?
No.
Okay.
Enlighten me. Why didn't you start with this?
No, you know what? I can't tell you about it until I show you the video.
Is that why you turned off my computer?
Yes, because the first image is something very specific that you're going to be like, wait, what?
Pacific?
Okay, so I would... yeah. Oh, we got our buddy Petey here. He's going to be doing a fight companion with us in the next couple weeks on like the next big UFC event he's sitting in. So he's going to be watching this too.
If you hear any ghost laughs.
So it's like,
can I turn this on? Or are you going to turn it on?
Yeah, go ahead and turn it on. Go ahead and turn it on. I had to turn off his monitor so he didn't like see me like pull it up on the laptop. Okay.
What?
So what?
Is that a dude?
So what you're seeing is like a young girl standing there, but the face looks weird.
Oh, yikes.
They just took off
long
a wig.
hair. They just took her long hair off.
Yeah.
Wait, look at his skin.
Yep, the skin looks weird, right? Hold on.
He's wearing a pink shirt that's like too small, but you can tell he's kind of jacked underneath.
Yeah.
Okay, now he took his jacket off and he's got some tats.
Yeah, it's the fucking gang leader dressed up like his daughter. His daughter came to visit him, and he had a mask made like, I don't know if this was like specifically made to look like her or if it's just
one of
like
those
a feminine
acting.
mask.
I mean, it's like
it's an acting mask
quality.
Yeah, because look, he takes off his mask and he's got like the fucking.
That's not what he looks like at all. Oh my god! What?
So fucking and he left his daughter in there. The plan was he was just gonna like leave his daughter in there, and I guess they would just like be like, oh shit, he's gone, his daughter's here, like whatever. But like they say the only reason, from what I read, the only reason he got caught was because he was acting nervous, and they were like, when they were checking out, like I think he would have gotten away if he would have like because they said like when they were asking like I guess maybe for like ID or something, that like he had it, but he was acting really sketchy and nervous and like not moving, and like so they were like, wait, something's going on.
And he was
like,
fairly jacked for a.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a hoodie on. He had a hoodie on and the shirt.
But you could tell that was a small dude, though.
Yeah,
you could tell that
sure.
dude was like 5'3",
5'3", yeah, maybe
5'4".
maybe 5'4". Small
so
guy.
like, imagine if he would have gotten out.
But a full wig and
everything. Dude,
how did he get a hold of all that?
That's fucking look at that. Look at that first picture. It's a fucking
like that just looks like a weird girl.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought of at first when I first saw it. I was just like, this
maybe
like,
she's like really high or got punched in the face.
Like got she's got some swelling.
But you can tell. Look at the neck.
Well,
now
that he took off the wig, you can see that okay, this person has like muscular traps. But he was even wearing like a bra to have like some kind of like
padded.
Right.
Type.
Exactly. Dude,
that's crazy. He's wearing like a pink shirt. He's got a black bra on. I mean, like now he looks like he's getting ready for a movie act. And
police are looking into her possible role as an accomplice. She's like fucking 12, bro.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, she's gonna do whatever her dad says.
And if she doesn't, there's potential danger for her. Like, dude, that is not even.
Yeah. That's so fucking.
I like when he takes off. Look at his face right there. He's just kind of like, damn it.
Yeah.
He's not even mad or anything. He's just like, fuck, I was so close.
Dude, imagine, for one, being in prison and being like, okay, I have to escape because they're gonna like put me to death, or like I'm a criminal leader, like I have to do that. So like that's crazy. But then the plan you come up with isn't to like bribe the guards with millions of dollars that you have, or get dirt or blackmail or dig or anything like that. You're like, no, just we'll leave my daughter in here.
That's fucked.
And I'll wear a fucking mask to get out.
Foiled jailbreak for gang leader dressed up as daughter. Does it say in the context at all his name? You could look him up and. No, Brazilian inmate has been caught trying to escape from prison by pretending to be his teenage daughter when she visited him behind bars. Gang leader Clavino da Silva, also known as Shorty. So that just gives you an idea. People know that he's like a little dude.
Oh.
Okay, so also known as Shorty, tried to leave the prison in Rio de Janeiro. Oh, so he was in a kind of a yikes.
Well, yeah.
Rio de Janeiro is kind of a yikes.
He was trying to apparently leave as his 19-year-old daughter. So I guess she was like 19, but...
I mean, his name's Shorty. He's tiny. She's a small girl.
It's so fucking crazy.
Is there a picture what his daughter actually looks like?
Yeah, let's see if like...
That's what I'm trying to see.
Yeah, I want to... Is his daughter like... First off, does she look anything like that? What if she looks exactly like the mask, dude?
Oh my god, that'd be kind of a weird looking girl.
That'd be so funny.
Weird ass neck too.
No, I don't. Yeah, all I'm getting are like pictures of him dressed as like the daughter.
I mean, that looks fairly like a weird girl. Like, I mean.
Oh, okay. Here's his daughter.
No, that's not his daughter. Really? No, a prison break, suicide, Brazilian gangster found
Brazilian
dead.
gangster found dead in his cell one day after dressing. Oh shit! This dude's dude. We just found this out live on the podcast. Holy fuck!
August 6th.
So it was yesterday. Brazilian gangster
God.
found dead in his cell one day after dressing as his. Holy shit! I can't believe I just brought this up.
Wait, I want to know what he's just a gang lord. I guess he's done multiple crimes. 42, hanged himself with a sheet in his cell.
Okay, he
in a
hung
high
himself.
security unit.
You saw the age?
What's that?
You saw the age?
Fuck.
That's insane.
Dude, the convicted drug dealer's amazing getup was so convincing. Prison staff only stopped him at the end of visiting time. So I guess like he was in it for a while.
The inmate had planned to leave. Wait, go back up. Had planned to leave his daughter inside the jail in the western part of Rio de Janeiro.
God.
his eyes all. catty
Another
like
woman
this.
who's pregnant and was able to avoid being searched is being probed for potentially smuggling in the outfit. Jesus, that is.
Okay.
And they just found him fucking dead in his cell.
That
Obviously, like,
is
maybe
some
he was
crazy
like told
shit.
by like someone above him that like, hey, you have to get out of there because like
They're gonna kill you.
we're gonna kill
Yeah.
you. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? And so
A lot of times, the politics of gangsters is kind of like, if you don't do this yourself, we're gonna do something way worse to you and your family, type deal.
Yeah, maybe. God, it's fucking crazy. But I remember, like, when I was hearing about that there was also like a crazy prison riot where they decapitated and like played soccer or something with like the heads or something like that. Yeah, at least, and this was a prison riot in Brazil. So
And this was when, July 30th.
okay. So yeah, this was a little while ago. But 57 people
It's
were
like last
killed.
week.
16 were decapitated, and it was a gang battle.
What?
Dude, a prison riot, for one, is terrifying. Prison riot in Brazil, number two, is more terrifying. But then to see 16 people... you know how long it would take to cut off 16 heads? I mean...
What weapon are they using in
yeah,
prison?
it can't be like a sharp knife.
Yeah, or
Or
like
like a axe.
yeah, or any like sort of strong double steel folded blade. You know, like, I mean, it's not like they're using katanas in there chopping people's heads off. I hope not.
Yeah, and so you'd have to line them up. You'd have to have help. That'd be fucking crazy. That's a feat. And they couldn't stop it at this point. Like, while they were decapitating people, they couldn't get their shit together as, like, the security forces and get in there and stop that.
I kind of want to read that last line. It says Brazil's penitentiary system has for years been plagued by violence due to what analysts have described as systematic failures. Okay.
That's so fucking...
Have you heard of I think it's called toxoplasma?
Toxoplasmosis?
Plasmosis? Yeah,
Toxo-
plasticity
yeah,
is when
yeah.
plasticity is when your brain gets injured and another part of your brain takes over the function of that failing part. I don't know why I said plasticity.
It's a disease that results from infection with the Toxoplasma gondii parasite, one of the world's most common parasites. It usually occurs by eating undercooked, contaminated meat, exposure from infected cat feces, or mother-to-child transmission during pregnancy.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
pretty
lot
sure-
of stray cats in Brazil. There's a high level of this parasite that is in Brazil, and it causes like super aggressiveness in men. I don't know if that plays a factor into that, but I mean, it could.
Well,
Not to mention their staff
I mean, they
issue
say
with all the
like
people.
if you are like someone who's like had cats all your life and multiple cats, and like sometimes, you know, like when you live in an area with multiple cats, maybe if it's any bit rural, you're gonna pick up some kind of like
a feral cat.
right, you know. And so they say if like, you know, if you've had cats for decades and decades and all this is like you probably have it. Like,
Oh yeah, it's something that
You know?
just kind of like
I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it a lot.
I have too. I mean, that's because he's, you know, I mean, going to Brazil and training and whatnot. Dude, some of their mats, like, I mean, going down there, you have to be aware that they don't necessarily have the resources to take care of their facilities
it's not
like
that they
as
just can't,
sanitary
right.
as they should.
A lot of those gyms are just trying to get by and like
Yeah.
offering free training to kids from the street. To, like,
And
get them
it
off
just
the
helps
street.
them keep them out of gangs. You
Yeah.
know, it's like an alternative to gang life, basically. Jiu-jitsu is
real.
down there. It's their second sport
Yeah.
behind soccer.
Right.
And I mean, you remember who was that MMA fighter, that black guy, and he had the staph infection and he had
Kevin
a whole,
Randleman, we talked about him. a
Yeah,
couple
Kevin
episodes ago.
Randleman. We talked
Yeah.
about him a couple episodes, but our coach went down to train in Brazil when I think he was a purple belt
I think
or
he was
something like
purple
that.
belt, yeah.
Yeah, you know, he's like taking on like brown belts down there and whatnot, which is pretty amazing. But he said it was normal for people to just have holes in their flesh. They look
Fuck.
like zombies from the staph infections that they would get from that stuff.
That's so fucking crazy.
It's pretty. I mean, it's sad too. It's just like
Brazil.
insane.
I mean,
Yeah,
like-
Brazil is pretty gangster.
Fuck. I'm pretty sure, like, if you're in the UFC and you're like an American fighting Brazil, like you're walking around with security. You're not going to some and Brendan Schaub talked about that, like when he went down there, like they consulted with with the gangs, but they were
Really?
like, we're gonna be in this area, and like they had people like.
They probably paid off some people.
I don't
like,
think
hey,
it was.
we're gonna
I
be-
think they just had to like let him. And like Brendan like gave a bunch of like supplies and shit to like the kids. Like got his sponsors to like right there like give out a bunch of gloves and stuff. And
Well,
like
that's cool. That's
right.
good.
And so he was like they liked him after that. But
Yeah.
like yeah, like
A chi-
they,
dude.
that they had to have like kind of like the permission to like fucking be there.
I mean, it's like
Imagine going
mafia
to
territory
fight there and
basically,
having
yeah.
to do that shit.
Imagine fighting a Brazilian there.
Yeah, he fought
that you've been
Big Nog.
talking shit to. you.
Yeah.
Like Chael Sonnen did when he fought Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
He told a story. He was like, no matter how much bravado or no matter how much pride you have, like gangster,
Yeah.
I'm a fighter, this and that. He said when the guns come out, all that shit goes out the window.
sure.
He said, I forgot what the drive-by technique is called, but someone will, if you're driving straight, someone will cut you off.
Right.
And they'll park, stop their car right in front of you so you're perpendicular with the side of their car.
Yeah.
Another car will come up to the side with you. They'll whip open the van and AK-47 just spray you.
Yeah.
And so they were riding around with security, and one of the security guards, someone kind of abruptly stopped, trying to get
shit.
in their lane.
Yeah.
And so the security guard in the passenger seat pulled out his gun, and Chael Sonnen said he squatted down. He told his wife, he's like, he's got his gun out, babe. Like, holy shit. And, it turned out it was nothing. But, he was talking mad shit to the country of Brazil,
Oh, yeah.
this was years ago.
Chael Sonnen said
Yeah.
some gangster ass
Yeah,
shit.
he says some gangster stuff, but,
It's also like
you got to be a gangster to say that shit, though.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. He's not a gangster.
And fucking, he.
Otherwise,
Also
he'd be
the
the one,
biggest-
babe, I got my gun out. Yeah, you're right, Petey. If he was a gangster, he wouldn't care. He'd pull his gun out and he'd
I don't
be
know.
fine.
You
but
could, yeah.
That's there's different
he's
levels.
The gangster
he's-
in Oregon,
But Oregon, like all
I
that,
know.
when I think of Oregon, I think of people reading books while it's raining outside.
That's what I'm saying. So he's
Yeah,
a gangster there.
yeah.
He's also the most prominent cheat in like UFC history as
The
far as like
prominent
cheat as far as like drugs.
Yeah,
and,
he was
like,
the first one to get tested by USADA and get
that like
banned.
and he's owned up to it, and he's like, it's hard to say he owned up to it when he lied about it for so many years, but
Yeah.
now he just like talks about it. He's
Now he's
just
just
like,
like,
I
I
don't,
got tested.
I don't
and
fucking.
I failed.
I respect that more than fucking.
Hey, just should have said
And
that
now
from
he's
the
fighting
get-go.
in Bellator. Like that's where like there should be an old man league where like you can go and do fucking steroids and fight other like.
They should have a steroid division and a non-steroid division.
It's called Ryzen and one FC.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Bellator
Because they don't
and
test at all in
Asia. No,
in
no,
any-
no,
yeah.
no. They. Yeah.
He just won, but his first fight, he got smashed.
yeah.
And they, implemented new weight. Oh, did you hear weight cutting things? But did you hear about Frankie Edgar? So today,
Dropping down?
Yeah, today
Yeah.
Frankie Edgar announced that he's going to drop down to 135. Going to look to fight in December. That's his weight class.
I feel like it is. I feel like
He
he'll
walks
do a lot
around
better
at
down there.
155.
So he has no business.
Even fighting at
Fighting
45,
155.
like he does.
Dude,
he's so small for everyone at 45.
I was at Lifetime Fitness. This was probably when I first started training with Coach. So I was maybe like 22, maybe 23, and I'm sitting over there, and I'm 1-2, drop down, do a sprawl, which to people who don't do MMA, it's the defense for a takedown, and it just looks like a burpee. Okay?
Basically, yeah.
And if you cuss during class, automatic 250. Just they
Right.
suck, but you do them a lot. So I'm at Lifetime, throwing a 1-2 punch sprawl, 1-2 punch sprawl, 1-2 punch sprawl, doing this over and over. And I didn't have my glasses or contacts in at the time. And I see this guy, and he's kind of like got his head turned to the side. He's like looking over there at me, and I was like, automatically in my head, I was like, "Who's this punk? Who's this punk bitch?"
Yeah,
and he starts getting closer.
Oh,
And he
shit.
starts walking around and looking at me. This is before I had that paranoia about people standing behind me. But,
Right.
he starts coming around the corner, and I was like, and I look directly at him, and he's looking directly at me, and then he gets 6 feet from me, and I was like, Sage? It was
Sage Northcutt.
Yeah, it was Sage Northcutt. He was like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" That's what he sounds like. He sounds like real, like,
Oh,
"Hey,
yeah.
man." He sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
Right.
But he's like, "What's up, buddy?" And I was like, "How much do you weigh?" And he was like, "Right now I'm probably walking around at 185, 190.
And you're like,
I
yeah,
was
0% body fat.
Whoa. I was like, "Your last fight was at 155. And he was like, "Yeah, my next fight here is at 155, and then I might go up to 170 from there." But I was just like, the first thing I said to this guy, was basically a celebrity.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's a huge fighter.
He's
he's
huge.
big in MMA and whatnot.
Oh,
I was
I meant
just like,
physically. He's
Yeah,
one of the
he's-
most jacked, regardless of weight class.
he's enormous.
He's got literally bigger arms than almost anyone in the UFC, regardless of weight class. The only other person who probably has the same size arms is
Heavyweight.
Costa.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah,
Big-
the one fighting
big
Romero.
people.
I think that's gonna be the fight that we're gonna fight companion.
Yeah,
for.
I'd really like to do that. Just where we all sit down, we'll watch the
Yeah.
fight live, and we'll broadcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the exact.
Diaz.
Yeah, but it's Stipe versus DC.
DC. That's gonna be good.
Diaz.
I can't wait to see the Diaz fight. That's
Diaz
gonna
and
be
Pettis,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
That's a dream matchup for me. I love Pettis. I think Pettis is
You think he's going to
killer.
win? Because there's a difference between who you want to win and who you think's going to win. Because I think Diaz is going to win.
If Diaz shows up at his best, he's a motherfucker. and
Even if
can
he
beat anyone
shows up
in the
as
world.
a good Diaz, because there's shitty Diaz,
If he shows up as a good
Diaz.
Diaz and Anthony Pettis shows up as a great Anthony Pettis, I think Anthony Pettis puts him away.
I think Pettis,
Dude,
off
I don't
You
know.
know?
I don't know, man.
because
No fucks given with Diaz, though.
pretty good at jiu-jitsu. However,
Mm.
he's got really good kicks.
Okay, I don't know if you heard Petey, but the jiu-jitsu part, I think Diaz jiu-jitsu, like you go to the ground with him.
Yeah,
and
I think Diaz
it's very
has-
underrated because you don't get to see it a lot. But
Except if Diaz is in his guard.
I definitely think
if Diaz is in his guard, then it's a little different. But Diaz plays a very strong jiu-jitsu
Right,
game.
I don't see it going to the ground, and if it does go to the ground, I see it being very
Wrestler based by Pettis.
I see it being very scramble based.
Oh, okay.
I see them
Well, I mean,
scrambling
that's-
a lot.
that's where-
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where
and I think someone's
scrambles
going to try to
originated.
fall into a fucking mounted triangle at some point or an arm triangle. I think that's what would happen. Someone's going to try to hit a guillotine, something like that. Events.
Who was Romero fighting again?
Costa. So
Shevchenko?
Saturday, August
He's fighting,
17th.
okay.
So we'll do a fight companion for that. We'll watch it, and it'll be a cool podcast. But main event: DC versus Stipe, Anthony Pettis versus Nate Diaz, and Yoel Romero versus Paulo Costa.
Can you click on Gabriel Benitez? That's what I'm talking about. I hope he wins. Will you click on Yoel Romero real quick?
So
Okay, I just want to talk.
body
about-
mass alone.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the physical specimen that Yoel Romero is. He's how old?
But
40?
if anybody else you can compare body wise to him, it's Paulo Costa. He's the only other person.
how old are both of them? Because I know Yoel's like
Costa-
41, I think.
They don't know how old he fucking really is. I mean, he's
I am
Cuban
12.
and grew up in a wrestling camp for fucking kids. It was basically gladiator fucking hell for a child. But he's 27.
Okay. 27, he's in a testosterone prime.
Yeah, he's a year younger than me. Yeah, that's true. But
This guy's a physical specimen as well. I mean, he's shredded and he's big, strong.
but just looking at body mass alone, who would you rather look like, Yoel Romero or Paulo Costa?
Well, Yoel Romero, because he looks the way he looks now. Because I mean, go to Yoel real quick because I want to confirm his age.
But I'm just saying how they look right now. Thanks, Rocco.
Well, you're
Sorry,
comparing. Go to his age real quick.
Well, I'm saying don't worry. He's like 40. Don't worry about it. Oh, just look at them.
Well, obviously Paulo Costa,
Yeah.
but I just want to look. I mean, if he's
I
gotta see the
he's
age.
a genetic.
I gotta see the
like,
age to make my point. Hold on.
He's a genetic like freak.
He's 41.
Yeah,
and he's yoked.
yeah.
And he competes at a world level.
He's a genetic.
Like your testosterone has
He's a genetic monster.
already tapered and dropped off at that
Right.
point naturally.
There's
I mean,
probably
I don't
some
know
things
what,
that have happened,
I
and
don't-
like obviously, like he just won a case against a supplement company for like 19 million or 29 million or whatever it fucking was, but he's not going to see a dime of that.
Right.
And so, no telling what also assisted him in getting there, but his life and the way he grew up training and everything,
It's
and
185.
the fact that he makes 185 is insane.
Insane, dude.
You know, I was 185 like a couple weeks ago, and but also he's not 185. Like
He's 185 for like a few hours,
5.5
maybe a day.
minutes.
Yeah. Like
What do
the
you think he
most.
walks around at? He's got but he's also super lean.
Probably 220.
I'd say 215, maybe even a
Yeah.
little bit lighter because he's so lean all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and Paulo Costa,
He's one of those fighters that stays in shape. Like he
Because
stays in
he's
fight
just-
shape. I mean, he's just an athlete. He's a super
right? He's got that
athlete.
metabolism that like.
And yeah, the
You know,
metabolism
if
naturally.
he's not training, like he's still gonna be able to be burning stuff off just like naturally how he eats and digests. You
right,
know?
but
like,
I'm pretty sure he stays pretty fight ready.
oh god, absolutely. I mean, it's built. Oh, that's a truck outside. It's yeah. So
I
if
was
you've heard
freaking
whatever that noise is, yeah, it's just a loud truck outside. He lives like 6 houses down, and it's just a giant diesel truck that he parks on the street, and he always floors it.
I thought something was
Right.
about to hit me or
Oh
something.
no,
I was about to get-
it's so loud it set off Chase's car alarm the other night at
Really?
12:30.
Well, I've got my headphones on right now, so it was like amplified. I
Oh,
thought I
and
was gonna get.
he speeds down
jump
the street.
scared.
It's like the only person that I like know of that I'm like, I hate when that guy drives by. Like, I don't have anybody that I'm like, oh, that guy's driving by, because I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But when he drives by, you can hear it. And it's like, I'm 3 houses from the end of the street, and it's a long street. So, like, you turn, and then, like, he accelerates so fucking hard in front of my house. Like, the black smoke everywhere, fucking setting off Chase's car alarm. Like,
Yikes.
there's no excuse. Like, you don't need to do that, bro. You live 7 houses down.
Bad for the environment.
Like, and it's a neighborhood. There's fucking kids everywhere and
Bad
dogs.
publicity.
And it's just so fucking. And he'll do it at 1 a.m. and he'll be blaring music, and it's a super loud diesel. Like,
That's just inconsiderate.
if you see the truck, it's like, oh, he put 20 grand into it. Like, it's a giant. And he lives at a fucking house that, like, is like running a daycare, and there's like
What?
always kids' toys scattered in the street, on the fucking sidewalk, all
That's
over
dangerous.
the yard. I'm like, and we see people like picking up their kids there, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, they don't
kinda-
even mow their fucking yard.
That's weird.
Yeah. And then the son, he's like my age too. So he's like he's not 30, and he's driving that, and it's just a fucking asshole. Like, yeah. I don't like him. If we had a neighborhood battle royale, he'd be the first I go for.
I don't know how likely that is, but
I would love to be in a battle royale of like some kind, like maybe like 2 gyms at a jiu-jitsu tournament, like you fight where you know there's no weapons, or you've agreed on weapons, kind of like outsider style.
I don't want to get stabbed.
Well, then you agree on weapons that don't stab, or stab them first.
I was told by one of the guys on our construction site, he's like, hey, don't ever get in a knife fight. And I was like, why? I was
Well,
like,
you
first
should
of all,
never-
First of all, I don't think I would ever get
No
into a
one's
knife
gonna
fight. He's
tell
like-
you to
he's like,
get in one.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't know what scenario you're bringing up, but he's like, nobody wins. And I was like, have you been stabbed? I was
Also,
like, what?
someone does win, the person who's still living.
Yeah, the person
know?
who's not bleeding out, I'm
To death.
sure that
and
guy,
like, yeah, if you get like
wins.
your shit all cut up and you're scarred for life, like you didn't like win, but like if you killed the other guy, then like
But also, this guy was
You did.
a military police, so I mean, he's had to go to
that's probably it.
other countries. And
He's jaded about knife fights. I'm
Yeah.
already done listening, Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
he's probably stabbed a lot of people.
Probably
to be
has
honest,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was riding around with one of my supers, and I like looked down, and he's got a gun like underneath the underneath the steering
Right.
wheel, just ready to go.
Right.
And I was like, oh wow,
Instead of a bag of rocks.
damn, yeah, instead of a bag of rocks. But he's he's a good self-control guy. I've seen him
also,
get
like,
into it with like he hasn't gotten into it, but I've seen like subcontractors get in his face, like almost nose to nose, like as close as the mic is to my face now, and pull out their hammer and like lay it over their shoulder, and he's talking to them he's talking to their boss on the phone. But I mean, like, he's just so, I'm like right next to him, or like, a little bit behind him, and I'm
Right.
like, I'm like, well, I mean, are we gonna do that? Like, if he makes the wrong move, like, I'm
I
moving.
mean, someone's got a hammer, bro. You gotta
was
like,
like-
act fast.
I was like, but you're so confident, it's like making me antsy. I was
and
like,
if he wasn't
that
that confident, maybe he would have gotten hit with the hammer.
exactly, that's
Because
what
if you
I'm
pull a
saying.
hammer on someone and they don't move, you're like, okay, well, fuck.
Do I need to pull out another hammer? Like,
Do I need
yeah.
to actually hit you?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
Like,
I walked down there too, and I was like, I mean, I shook my head, and I was just like,
no, man, you gotta put the.
Yeah,
I
don't
remember
do
one
this.
time I was on the road driving. It was like with a girlfriend. I was like 18, 19, and we were driving to like her grandma's house in like Fort Worth, and this guy like badly cut me off, like hard, like slammed on my brakes and everything, and then like got over and like slowed down. So like I remember like catching up with him, but I wasn't like trying to. And I look over and I like kind of put my hands up, and it's like a fat like white dude who like I don't remember his face so much, but I remember him thinking like, this fucking loser over here. It was like a real shitty car and shit, and he just like pulled up a pistol, and then he just pointed it at me, and he was like, what? And I was just like, all right. And I just
yeah,
like,
you're
okay,
like, well, I lose. Like, what do I do?
like
One time, Andrew and I,
why do you think you're winning this situation? Like, you did everything wrong, and then you took it to another extreme.
Yeah.
And like,
Wonder Boy and I have been driving down 121, and he honked. Okay, this childhood friend of his was actually like, his older sister's age, so that he was like 4 or 5 years older than us.
Right.
And so, growing up as a little kid, Andrew was always like, oh yeah, this guy's so cool, like he's the cool guy, and his sisters had a crush on him and everything. And then they grow up, and
you
Wonder
had a
Boy's
crush
pretty.
on him, like, everybody
yeah, I
had a
know,
crush
right?
on him.
Wonder Boy has a crush on him, but Wonder Boy,
Boy's like all about it.
yeah. So I mean, Wonder Boy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's pretty jacked. Like he's he's a solid dude. I mean, he's
Yeah.
like only 165, but I mean, he's like straight
if
muscle.
like you didn't know anything, you'd be like, the dude's 190, 200 pounds. Like if you didn't know anything.
If you didn't know anything, you'd think he's like 190. Yeah. And so, you know, this guy's kind of like a skinny, you know, wears shirts that are super big, and he's like, you know, kind of, I mean, he does a lot of drugs and whatnot nowadays.
He's
and
like
so,
the
you know,
coolest guy.
Andrew's, you know, we're driving down the street and he sees him and he honks at him and he flips him off because Andrew flips everybody off. Just being funny. He's like,
Me
ha
and my
ha,
sister do that too.
middle finger.
Yeah.
And this guy slams on the brake. Andrew almost hits him. He swerves to the other lane and then slams on his brakes still and gets, you know, right up next to us. And he pulls a gun out and he's like, I will fucking blow your head off. Like, because we had the windows down and he has windows. And I mean, dude, like, Chell was right. When people pull guns out, anything you got going, especially if you're in a car and you can't get to someone, you're like, you kind of naturally, you're like, well, here are my hands. Like, I don't.
Right, there's difference between someone showing
like,
it to you in their belt
in
their belt loop,
yeah,
and you're standing in front of them, and you're like, bro, you couldn't pull that out before I fucking choke you, like.
But also, that person has enough self restraint to be like, hey, yo, I'm giving you a warning.
That's true.
Chill out.
Different scenario.
Yeah.
What would Jason Bourne do? Different scenario. But in a car and someone's pointing it at you, they're outside the car, like you're just fucking.
You're like, well, I'm.
Right.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. It's illegal as fuck. But that guy didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did y'all just drive off?
Well, I mean, we pulled. He recognized that it was Andrew, and then we pulled off into the QT together. Like, we pulled off together, and then he's like, "Yo, man, like, what's up? Listen, that." He's like, "Hey, just FYI, can't be doing that shit on this road." And we're like, "Dude, this is 121. We're in Louisville. Like, I mean, it gets a little ghetto.
Like, yeah,
but
there's
like,
a budget suites, but calm the fuck down."
And he's like, "Hey, you can't be doing that shit, especially like
Dude,
guy
that
like
budget
me."
suites is sketchy though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
it's sketchy as fuck.
It's kind of scary.
I've been in some sketchy situations like around there, just like gas stations and shit. And
there's a guy that was shot on that bridge over there. He got his head blown off. This was a few years ago, but I mean, yeah. When I'm, you know, talking to Coach and whatnot about moving and houses and stuff, he's like, "Hey, don't go to 121."
Like, yeah, that's where you go when you're 18
and I was like,
you're trying to get the
obviously,
cheapest apartment possible.
I had an apartment down there, Coach. I'm not trying to move down there, but
yeah, if you're trying to get the cheapest apartment possible and you don't care about your safety, like, yeah, you move.
It's like a mini, it's like a little taste of Dallas over here in the north side, you know. So
yeah, we're by I work and fucking by like kind of like, well, it's technically Farmers Branch, but just like a mile down. Fucking, it's
kind of
where
weird,
the fucking racetrack is, dude. I mean. Look, yeah, you could probably get a dope apartment. Not dope. For
an
$500,
inexpensive apartment.
Right?
Yeah,
everything's paid for.
I mean, yeah, you could get a dope, a dope apartment.
Everything's paid for because there's nothing to pay for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everything's included, like nothing.
Yeah, yikes.
But you know what? Some people just fucking.
I mean, it's kind of funny though. I mean, like. You get a lot of like cool scene, like you said, like going to that racetrack. You see a lot of funny scenarios.
But if I lived there, it'd be a completely different story because you couldn't go fearful, anywhere. Because I'm sure there's a lot of other places in that area that like the other gas stations and like the car washes that are there, and like they all like I'm sure there would be like similar things because it's just like where that racetrack is. It is right across. Like there's a tiny little street. It's right across from the like DART train station, like the like a big one.
Oh, and it's busy.
Yeah, and it's like a 2-layer one, and there's a parking lot underneath, and so like there's tons of so like that's like a homeless hub because like you know they can get a bus pass, they can go, you know,
and they can move, they can go around.
Right, there's tons of like back little areas. There's warehousing back there, so like that particular racetrack, I go there because it's 2 for $4 Fucking we've talked about it.
Yeah,
but it's also like.
Get a sponsor.
Brand new. It's nice. Dude, we that's one of our
get a sponsor.
That's one of our podcast goals is to get a Celsius sponsor. But it's just a really like interesting environment to go to, you know. And then the Starbucks I go to sometimes it's remember the dude with the fucking drink and the brownie and like that's so yeah just that area. But also if you drive 5 minutes the other direction from my work, it's like.
You're the homeless guy.
Well, yeah.
You're like, wow, these houses are really nice. Yeah. Like, oh, wow.
But it's
it's kind of weird how that clashes. It's like, you know, the clashing of classes are right next to each other.
Well, it's just like tons of like parks and like it's Farmers Branch and there's like all these like parks and it's really cool. And like sometimes I would go there like on a lunch and like sit for like 10-15 minutes or eat or something like that or like take like a quick walk. But there's like all these like really poor neighborhoods around there that have like these $1 million homes that are popping up, and I'll drive through there on my way to like a little Walmart or like the ATM or something,
and
like it's crazy. It'll be like
for
four
houses.
like just like not nice houses.
Right.
They've been there a
Yeah.
long time, and then like literally, there's this house that has like a GTR and like a Ferrari out front,
And
like
everything's
I'm not
brand
joking, a
new.
fucking
Yeah, no,
Ferrari,
I've been
and this
through there.
GTR is like wrapped with a dope fucking wrap on it, like, and then like 3 more houses, and then like it's Escalades, it's fucking crazy, and like there's constantly new houses. I'll drive through all the time. I'm like, dude, in 10 years, this neighborhood's gonna be completely fucking different.
Yeah. Send me a
This would be-
snap. I want to see
Yeah,
that.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
I always send Chase like the GTR, and I
wanna
think it's
see
actually been multiple colors. Like I'm pretty sure I saw it white.
They've redone it?
when they first got it. Yeah, and now it's a sick blue. I always like snap Chase when we see like dope raps and stuff. But yeah, it's just like sick blue. But
Yeah.
yeah, our YouTube channel.
Our
Speaking
YouTube
of-
channel is now stocked and live
It's
for
live.
you to view.
We drop episodes Mondays and Thursdays. So now the YouTube episodes will be dropping with the audio on iTunes.
On
So they'll be
iTunes,
dropping
yes.
same day. Probably not exact same time. They might be off by like an hour or something like that.
Same day
Yeah,
release though.
Absolutely same day release.
So subscribe, check us out. Let us know what you think. Give us a little feedback.
We got some stuff coming up. We're gonna have some guests.
Yep.
We're gonna start having guests.
We've
fight
got
companions.
We've got a fight companion. We're gonna go on a little adventure.
field trip.
Field trips. We got 2 that we've been talking about, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. We're gonna keep them a surprise.
Definitely.
And
But we're gonna really hit like the vlogging on YouTube when we come out with that first vlog of our field trip corresponding with the podcast. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. It's
gonna be good stuff.
Yeah, it's not gonna be us going to eat at Chili's and like
I haven't
filming
been at
before and
Chili's in
after.
forever, but whatever. Yeah.
I just want the queso to be
Yeah.
honest, but I'm not gonna eat it because I'll hate myself afterwards. I'll eat
True.
17 times chips. But yeah, so like and subscribe, YouTube, Instagram, engage with us, and
Let us know what you think.
we'll talk to y'all in a few days.
See you next time.